Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Sensei-hugo and this will be my submission video for various marathons. And the game in question is the Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, any percent category. And right off the bat you will see that I'm running on the English version of the game, which is the slowest version of the game. The fastest version is Japanese because of text, and it's about 8 to 9 minutes faster. But without further ado, let's get going. And 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so first off, this game is based around motion controls. So most of the actions that are done using by shaking the V remote. And this run has few big tricks. The most important one is called back in time, and during back in time, what it does, it allows us to play in the title screen of the game, which allows us to manipulate the game files and the game maps greatly. And back in time is in Wind Waker, Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword, but it's most useful in Skyward Sword. And in Back in Time we have a few tricks that are called bit warp, bit save, and reverse bit magic. And reverse bit magic is the most important one of those, and I will explain more once we get to that point. And just gonna pick up this stamina fruit and run here. And also I'm playing on hero mode, like the character just said, which allows us to take the double the damage, but we also don't get any heart respawn, so we can't refill our health as fast. But it also allows us to skip cutscenes, which skips like 5 hours of the run, which is huge. And right off the bat, here is going to be our first back in time. And we are just going to run over to this cliff and jump off to damage ourselves. Like this. And we need to repeat this 3 times. They didn't have enough stamina, but it's okay. We can just refill. And do that again. And there we go. And now, as the game asks us if we want to continue, we are going to continue and reset at the same time. Like this. And I'm also running on Wii U, so I have to reset to the home menu. And this is back in time. So you can see, we are on the title screen, but we are also playing at the same time. And this allows us to manipulate the files we have. Like just now I copied one of the files, and we are going to corrupt it by deleting and saving it at the same time. Like this. And now we have a corrupt file. And next up is going to be the first of the many reverse bit magic or RBM tricks of this run. And that is going to be reverse bit magic in the goddess sword into our inventory. Okay. And we will see if that worked after a cutscene at the plaza. And now's a good time to talk about the movement mechanics of this game. So basically in this game you can roll or sprint. And rolling is the fastest way. On average it saves about 1 frame, but because it uses so much stamina, most of the time we begin our movement by rolling once and then just sprinting the rest of the way. But for short distances we usually just roll, because it's faster that way. And the entirety of this game's sword and shield play is motion control based, so there will be lots of Wiimote waggling during this run. And this is the waterfall cave, and here's a small shortcut of sorts. It's kinda hard to nail because this game is not very lenient about jumping at angles from like cliffs and such. And coming up is rescuing our Loftwing, our main means of transportation in the sky. Also, the text in this game is very slow, and that's why the English version of this game is the slowest version possible. The fastest is Japanese, and right after that is Korean. And here we are just going to save our Loftwing. Oh. Oh, well, that was kind of bad. Lost some time there, but it's okay. Also, if you are wondering during the run why my splits show so much time save, it's because I haven't updated my splits yet, because I have done runs before, but I just haven't updated my splits. And this is just a small tutorial section on how to control the Loftwing. And it's not skippable, but it's okay, it doesn't take too long. And like everything else in this game, the Loftwing is controlled by moving the Wii remote, and Loftwing plays an important part later on during the run when doing a big skip called the Song of the Hero skip, but I'll explain it when the time comes for that trick. And now we are going to save and quit and go back to the title screen and use our corrupt file to do back in time quickly. Because the corrupt file doesn't have any health, so it's really fast to just use it for back in times when applicable. And here's Link. And during this back in time, we are going to RBM the practice word flag to our file so that we can use it to do some RBMs that utilize the practice word. Also, the back in time is very laggy. And now we are going to save file 1 and copy file 1 to file 2. And enter the sparring hall, which has the practice word. And in bit, it's very important to do specific actions with specific files to avoid crashing or to get the wanted results. And hopefully that works and doesn't crash. And yes, and now we have the practice word flag that we can use. And these are small time savers called C-strats. And what they do is, when going to a loading zone, they halt our movement, so we can do a roll when we load into the next zone, which is faster than just running at full speed. And that's our emerald tablet that opens up the portal to Farron Woods, our first area that we are going to land in this surface. Yeah. And some more cutscenes coming up that we just skip because we are playing on hero mode. And now we are getting the adventure pouch that allows us to hold a shield and some potions. And for this run specifically, I'm going to be collecting the shield and one extra bottle for safety, and also a few more heart containers for safety. They lose a little bit of time, but it's much better than than if you die continuously because of not having enough hearts. Also in this game, the left door is the fastest one by 21 frames. It's in Twilight Princess GameCube version, the right door is faster, but because this game Link is right-handed, or the whole game world is mirrored in a sense, the left door is faster. And here's the shield, which is the most overpowered weapon of this game. Even though Ovlan says it's not very sturdy and such. And here's our first meeting with Fee, and unfortunately she's going to be with us for some portions of the run. And unfortunately fight text doesn't fill up our stamina. And here's a small time saver. By maneuvering ourselves to the left of that, to the left, down left, we can load a bit closer to the portal to the surface. And here is going to be a small skip. It saves a few seconds, I think, a bit more on English. there's a small trigger. There is a trigger for a fight text, which basically just makes her tell that, oh, there is the hole in the clouds. You should try jumping there. But we can just skip that by jumping off our loft wing early and making our way to the portal by ourselves. And here's a kinda tricky part for me at least, because I don't know the correct strats. We have to avoid these decubabas. Like that. And that went well. And now we are just going to jump down to the pit and jump slash to take 4 hearts of damage. Because we need to be able to die fast in certain sections of the run. As you can see, the text is very slow, especially in the English version of the game. Also, most of the game versions are very similar. The only different version is the US 1.0, which has something called cistern clip, which in a dungeon later on in this run allows us to skip or clip straight into the basement of the dungeon. But it's no longer utilized, so pretty much every version except Japanese is equal. And now we're just making our way up top to the Seal Temple. Like this. And go in. And now we are going to get a bottle and a potion with it. We are not really going to use the potion, we just want the bottle for later parts of the run, where we need to collect some water. And here's Impa with her slow text. Impa is going to give us a task in a bit to set a beacon on the map, and it's kind of a hard thing to do. Kind of a joke, really. But it's kind of difficult to do fast. And now she's just talking something about destiny and a mission and whatsoever, but we don't really care because we are going fast anyways. And here's the section I just talked about. And I did it the slow way because I wanted to make sure I got it. And now we are going to face our first real enemies of the run, bokoblins, which are one of the most annoying creatures of this game, or the most annoying ones. But thankfully they are easily defeated, but in large groups, such as at the end of the run of the game, they can be overwhelming and annoyingly difficult. And also in hero mode, the Skyward Strike is very overpowered, because in hero mode the Skyward Strike is the same like strength as it's in normal modes end of the game when you have gotten the true Master Sword. So it's very powerful and it's used a lot. It's used for some skips and also for fast killing bosses, because it deals so much more damage than the base sword we have. And this is our first ground bird statue, which we can use to save and to fling ourselves to the sky, if so we desire. And now we are making our way to the Farran Woods. Oh. That was kind of dumb. And here we see the beacon, and we are just going to forget about it, because we are way too fast for it. And here's another set of bokoblins harassing this small cute animal called a kickbee called Machi. And so we're just going to take care of these bokoblins quickly and make our way to Machi. And single-handedly, these are the cutest creatures of this whole game. No questions asked. And also the dialogue options in this game can be done with moving the Wii remote or using the nunchuck stick. Generally the control stick is faster to use and also more reliable, but I have just gotten used to the motion control, so I'm going to be going with them. And also stamina management is very important during this run. And here's a small chase of Machi. And now we're going to do a small shortcut by bunking into this tree and releasing the vine, so that we can access certain areas faster. Oh, didn't notice the text. And also for the dialogue, for the Farran Woods, the leftmost option is the fastest, and for Eldin, the rightmost option is fastest, except for the Earth Temple, which the upper choice is the fastest. And now basically we just have to find all of the Kikvis in the area. I don't really know what to talk about right now. Like, this portion of the run, there is nothing really interesting. Oh yeah, title ropes. The title ropes in this game are annoyingly, or walking on them is controlled by swinging the V mode, but thankfully if you just swing the V remote back and forth, you just basically keep level all the time. And my stamina management is kinda bad right now. And the same thing as before. And needed to do that as well. And this is the second kick-V called Lopsa. There are 4 kick-Vs that we are going to find, 5 if you count the hair kick-V, or the elder. The kick-Vs are Machi, Lopsa, Erla, Ulu, and the elder Butcha. And as you can see, there will be a lot of fee text or fight text during this run, which is unfortunate. And the vines or vine swinging in this game is controlled by the Wii remote. And in Skyview dungeon, the dungeon we are going to be going soon, it plays an important but a very difficult role. Also, let's not get hit by those, because that would be bad. Also, climbing vines and hanging on tight ropes consumes stamina. Pretty much everything in this game consumes stamina one way or another. And this is our third kick-V. And we're just going to jump down here, make our way down here, and now we're going to push this log down. It's for later use when we need to revisit the area to give us a shortcut. And now we are just going to jump slash down this hole quickly, like this. Very useful. And that's our last kick-V that we need to find. And now we are going back to meet the elder, who was very cleverly camouflaged during this entire time on this center area. And as you can see, he is very clearly boss type. And he is going to give us our first real item, or our first item from an item wheel, the slingshot. And the slingshot, it's quite handy. It's not used a lot, but it's still quite handy during this run. And now we are getting the slingshot. Nice. And now that we have the slingshot, we can make our way to the deep woods, and from there to Skyview Temple. And Butcha is just going to explain us how to use this slingshot. But we don't really need any instructions. And that place is where I just went under those trees. It's kinda scary because some treasures can spawn there, and if you pick them up they make you lose time. Because every time you get a new item there's a text box. And as we know, the text boxes are very slow in this game. And just going to make sure you can actually skip a little bit of those swings, but I don't know how to do that fast swing consistently. And now if we get it, there's going to be a huge like skip coming up, and I'll see if I can get it. It's kinda RNG, but there's a setup for it, so let's see if it works. Nope. Okay, what I was going to do there was to do a trick called extending blow, which is basically when you do a fatal blow or finish the enemy when the enemy is over the pit, and the game thinks it's dead, but you can still do the fatal blow on the enemy. But instead we are going to do a trick called cube blow. That unfortunately didn't work. I still have one more chance. Okay, I got it on the third and last try. What I was going for was extending blow, and basically you do the fatal blow on an enemy when it's over the pit, and the game thinks it's dead. And because it's dead, but you can still do the fatal blow, the game sets the coordinates for the blow to the 0 point of the map, which happens to be right outside of the temple. But instead we are going for a small skip right here. If I can get it. Unfortunately, I was a little bit too much to the right. But what I just did there earlier was something called cube warp. And how you do it is basically when you Skyward strike the bokoblin, it goes at an angle and hits the goddess cube up there, which warps you over there, and it's the only one that does so. So we can do that. If I would have failed that, I could have done something else. I could have done a bit warp to the behind of the temple, but thankfully I got that one. But now we are going to have our first bit warp of this run, I think. And what bitwarp does is, back in time, if you start the file and save at the same time, it takes your Skyloft coordinates and saves them, or applies them to the map you are loading to. And by saving, we set that our map where we are going to load is Skyview Temple. Now we are just going to die and do back in time. And do the warp. Hopefully I wasn't too slow with that one. Ah yes, got it. And now I'm going to utilize something called bit magic. So with bit magic you can, in back in time, you can take flags from your game files and apply them to the back in time Skyloft map. So right there, as I bunked that tree with the file tool, I applied the flags from it, which opens the academy gates. And now we just start and save at the same time, and we go straight to the main room of the dungeon. And we are going to this room to reload the area, because right now it's in unloaded state, so not everything's correctly loaded. But by going into this room and just going back, surprisingly I got that first try. Usually that enemy is kinda hard to get. Oh, that's bad. Okay. So basically, usually we have the beetle at this point, so we use the beetle to cut the spider's thread, but because we didn't have it, we had to use the Skyward Strike to move the spider out of the way and hop at a correct time. And the keys are very annoying, so we'll try to avoid them. And now we are getting the dungeon item Beetle, which is a flying insect that can fly. Yeah, it flies. It's a device and it's quite handy. Especially for some of the puzzles that utilize it. And that was that. That was the first boss utilizing the motion control mechanics. And now we have the beetle, but we are locked in. So we are going to get ourselves out of here by just flying the beetle over to the same switch we used to get in. And the beetle is motion controlled as well. And we can get rid of beetle fast by just swinging our sword once. And just get rid of that, so that we have an easier time getting this loopy over here to prepare us for the next RBM. And now we have to get rid of this bokoblin. And thankfully we got rid of him, but second one's coming right behind us. But that's good, because we are going to use it for another back in time. Next up is Gilahim skip RBM, which saves a couple of seconds over doing the Gilahim fast. And this back in time is kinda difficult, because we have to avoid looking at the pumpkin patch that's on the other side of the Skyloft, because that activates early life tree seedling cutscene, which would have been useful when it was still needed, but it's not needed anymore. So it's very annoying. And thankfully, and that should do it. I'm using the practice word flag we got earlier. We can do that RBM using the Sheikah Stone, which basically which basically shows up after we get the practice word regularly. And here's the first section of the vines. That's just a rope, and a very annoying section. Oh, need to get the slingshot for this. And if you asked any runner what would be the hardest part of running this game, they would most likely say the vines. Oh, that was kinda scary. And now we have the boss key, or the sculpture. And every single dungeon of this game has a boss key. Oh, unfortunately, I didn't have enough speed, so I fell down. Which happens every time, it's inevitable. Like, it's not possible in any way to get that first try. And I'm just going to save the save, because my game it doesn't work very well, so if it happens to crash. And every dungeon has a boss key, and every single one of them have different combinations, but they are easily memorized. And if that RBM worked correctly, we can just run past Gilahim and go to the Skyview Spring. So let's see. And yes, the RBM worked. So we don't beat Gilahim in this run. Oh, that was weird. Usually Link runs right out there. And now we get the second tablet, the Ruby tablet, which allows us to access the Eldin. And now we are going to do a trick called Early Light Pillar, which allows us to go to Farron while back in time, which allows us to do many skips, including the Song of the Hero skip. That time is not right now. And now we are going to save and quit again. And using the file tree, we are going to die again to back in time. Unfortunately, we just lost the corrupt file, but it's okay because we are in the dungeon still. We just need to run to the other side and get hit by an enemy. Like this. And this RBM section is going to be kinda difficult, so I might shut up for a moment. Now I'm just going to quickly change files to load the Ruby tablet we have on file 1 to back in time. And we are going to reselect file 2 to open the gates. And now we are going to the goddess statue to insert the tablet. Kind of weird camera. Okay, let's see if that worked. We can see if that worked by C-upping, and yes, there's the pillar. And now we just save and quit. And we can go back to file 1 and make our way to Eldin. And we are going to use the revitalizing potion now. And let's not forget about the sea stilts. Awesome. And now we are just going to make our way to Eldin. And more free text. Also, now we are going to utilize the zippers for the first time. And zippers are basically they allow us to go really fast in the sky. And now we are just going to Eldin. And right off the bat we are going to do another bit warp. This time with a different statue. And jumping into the lava is not necessary, but it saves a little bit of time, so yeah. And it seems like the batteries in my wireless sensor bar are running out, which is unfortunate. And this positioning is kinda important. But hopefully I got that right. What this bit warp does is it spawns us inside the goddess cube near the entrance to this. And it allows us to basically fall down into this place. And this is the magma turf. And by getting rid of those bokoblins, this guy is going to give us the digging mitts. And sometimes that just happens that not all of them get killed, and it's kinda annoying. And as I said before, the right text option is the fastest, except for Earth Temple, in which the uppermost one is the fastest one. And now is coming up a small time saver, and for some reason when you pick up this bomb and just set it next to this flame, that didn't work. Usually what happens when you set it next to the flame, it explodes instantly, but it doesn't damage you, just the enemy. But I think I wasn't close enough, so it didn't blow up immediately. But that's okay, and soon we are going to do another RBM. Also, sometimes when you roll into the next cutscene in a certain way, you can get what's called circles, where Link just basically runs around in circles during the cutscene. And unfortunately I didn't get that. So I guess I'll just have to reset. Just kidding.
Hey!
And now we are just going to save again. And kill ourselves with the lava. And do an RBM, which skips having to collect the key to Earth Temple. So in this back in time and RBM, we are going to I'm going to go inside a house so that we can sleep tonight, because this RBM is done during the night Skyloft. Right here specifically, and we need to select a certain file. And same for when we are going to exit. And this RBM is done by activating the shed cutscene by activating the shed cutscene by pushing the gravestone and also starting the file at the same time. And those keys are annoying. Okay. Wasted one seed, but it's okay. Oh. And now we can just place this bomb here, and it's just close enough to bump this tower. And now we have to scale some slopes again. This is kinda annoying. And this part is kinda hard. But thankfully, we didn't get hit. And now's the famous "Just Saying" cutscene. And the door looks that it's locked, but that's because we haven't reloaded the area by dying. But hopefully it should be open. And we'll just see it in a moment. Just saying. And more free text. And let's see. And the door was open. Nice. And now we're just going to turn back the camera for a cycle optimization, because those rocks up there, they're on a cycle. Is the keys gonna come here? Okay, and okay, it is. And that's a small trick, a small optimization where while you're in the air, the game doesn't play out cutscenes or text boxes when you do something new. So it allows us to save a few seconds. Like that. Oh. And this is basically the only place I use the wooden shield during the run. And right now I'm going to do another RBM, which also sets a flag for early Thunderhead, which allows to access the Thunderhead early. But it also skips having to go around the temple to raise those stairs or pedestals. And it's basically the same bit as before, or the same RBM as the one before. I'm also cycling between file select and title screens to for stamina like optimization, and also because the file select lags. And same as before. And that should do it. And now we are going to go with the bomb bag. And there's a small like cutscene skip, but unfortunately I don't know how to do it, so I'm just not going to do it. Because I am what I am. And there's also a small like trick for like skipping a cutscene, but it's kinda hard, but I'll try it anyway. Just need to kill that for safety. And yes, I got that. Very nice. Oh, what? Weird camera. And now we're just going to activate this, skip a small cutscene by just starting the fight by shooting at these guys with this slingshot. And he's not cooperating with us right now. And very good. And this is the bomb bag. And bombs are very useful because they allow us to damage ourselves quickly and do back in time very fast because of that. But right now we don't have any bombs, so we have to go back to lead. And right here is the differing text box. And we got some bombs too. And now we're just going to death warp to the center island. It also reloads the area, so it loads the pegs and of the platforms. And as we can see, the RPM worked, and we also have full health, which is nice. And coming up is a time saver called stutter sprinting. Unfortunately, I just failed that because I was too sloppy on my stamina management. But I'm just gonna go up there again. For some reason I didn't get up here fast enough, so I lost some stamina. And now's the stutter sprinting part. So first, we have to run high enough so that we actually spawn both of those sets of boulders. And now by repeatedly pressing the A button or dash button, we can just stutter sprint up the slope. And there is a nice cutscene trigger right there to roll into to refill our stamina. And here's the boss key. And now Link's going to be doing the Indiana Jones thingy. And that there is actually our boss of this dungeon, which is basically the worst boss of the whole game. And just safety saving because you never know what's gonna happen. And I don't remember those, like, the movesets, but I do remember how they're done. So kinda slow on my part right there. And right after this boss fight, I'm going to take the heart container just for safety. Because the last section of the game is very difficult to do with only 7 hearts we usually get, so I'm going to get 2 more. And right now we are going to be filling up the bombs. On bombs. And what you are going to be seeing is I'm attempting to go with what's called a tricycle's caldera. But because this boss is so annoying and kinda difficult, I'm going to shut up for a moment. But here's Girahim again. He's pretty annoyed that we just ran past him earlier. Scalded up. Oh. 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 He was being a bad boy. Yo, the bomb. Okay. That happens like never. This boss is going bad right now. Oh dang. I have never gotten such bad luck with this boss. Oh. Hopefully I don't run out of bombs. And as I said, this boss can be tricky. Okay. Well, in the end I got him. It was still kinda bad. And I'm just going to take the heart container, which is not usually done, but I'm going to take it for safety. Oh. And I'm just gonna grab some bombs, because we need them. And I think that's enough. And now we are getting the Amber tablet, which allows us to go to Laneiru, but we are skipping Laneiru like 99% of it. We are only going there to get the harp, which is only used once, basically. And now we are going to the sky, and we are going to fly to the Thunderhead. And in Thunderhead we have the Isle of Songs, where we usually, in normal gameplay, we get these songs that open the trials, silent realms for us. And also because we hit the goddess cube earlier, Fee is gonna tell that we have something, that something has appeared in the sky that correlates with the cube. And as we can see, the Thunderhead has opened. And we are just going to make our way there. And usually in this section there spawns some tornadoes, but for some reason they don't spawn right now. And this loading zone is kind of weird. And I'm going to be flying low for a moment to just go past those sky tails, as they are called. And we want to avoid those sky tails because if they attack us, they deal damage. And we don't want that. And now, because we don't have sailcloth, we have to splat real low to the Isle of Songs, because we skipped the sailcloth because it's not needed. And here's a puzzle. And this puzzle is skippable. It's something called wormhole, which is basically when you set these platforms to rotate and you hop on the platforms and frame perfectly roll to enter the hole on the other side. But because it's very difficult and doesn't save much time, we don't do it. But here's a small frame perfect cutscene skip if I can get it. Okay, yes, I got it. But it saves like a few seconds, but not a whole lot. And here's the first and only song we are going to be learning, Farore's Courage. And usually we need the harp to be able to even learn this song, but we don't have it right now, so we have to get it later. And now we are going to be doing another back in time. This time we are going to activate the Laneiru light pillar from back in time to save some time. Like this. And the reason why we went outside is in some places in this game you can't do back in time for some reason. Isle of Songs is one of those places. And yeah, now some more bit magic stuff. And that we used to load the Amber tablet. And we just check the statue with fire 3 because it allows us to open the pedestal faster for the tablets, and we need to load in with fire 3. And there we go. Weird camera again. Did I get even the correct? Let's see. Yeah, I did. It just didn't show up. Okay. And now there's the pillar. I'm going to take a small detour to Bazaar to get a second bottle. And if I just remembered where to go. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I got a follow. I just don't know from whom, but thanks for the follow anyways. And here's an empty bottle. And we are not going to buy anything because we are cheapskates. And we are going to just fly to Lanero. I think it would have actually been faster to just jump off that platform, but oh well. Or just go the other way. But now we are going to Lanelo to just get the harp. And the way we get the harp, using what's called using an RBM called Bat Signal, we can access the Temple of Time statue earlier, and we get the harp by going to the Temple of Time because there's a cutscene that gives us that harp, and yeah, had to think what to do. And another bag in time. And how Bat Signal works, there's this guy on Skyloft that's called Batrio, I think. And by accessing his house back in time and doing some things to him, or like talking to him, he'll set a flag. Oh, unfortunately, I looked at Pumpkin Patch. So I have to redo that. That can sometimes happen if you are not careful. But yeah. So let's just do it again. That was kind of weird. I'm just gonna take my sweater off. It's getting kinda toasty in my room at the moment. Okay. Let's try that again. Kinda unfortunate that happened, but It sometimes happens. There are some precautions that you can take, but I forgot to take those, so yeah. And here's Bothrio. And he's really scary with the file select covering up him. And unfortunately we are losing some time. And this RBM is basically just a lot of text. But it's a quite important RBM, like when this was discovered, this RBM exactly, it basically destroyed a category known as harp percent, which runs the game until you get the harp. Also, I forgot to mention in the beginning that reverse bit magic was found by Gymnast86, and thanks to his and SVA's and Peppernicus great work, the run is a lot shorter now. It's around 2.5 hours left shorter. And now we're just going to commit that RBM by shooting at that. And we are going back up to the sky so that we can access the Temple of Time statue. And coming up is Song of the Hero skip after this one. And what Song of the Hero skip does is basically when you go back to the past through Gate of Time in the latter part of the run, there is this door to the final section of the run of the game. And as we can see, the Temple of Time statue is activated. Anyways, with Song of the Hero skip in Faron Back in Time, we are able to unlock the door. So we skip the Song of the Hero, which saves a ton of time. And right now, we are going to get the harp. There. And now I'm going to mash for a small cutscene skip. Or text skip. Okay, yes, I got that. And this back in time is weird, like, for this one you have to reset really early, like, really quick. Usually you have like half a second to reset for the back in time to work. So let's see. And it seems like it worked fine. And now we are going to fly back in time and go to Faron through the Eldin light pillar, which is kind of weird, but trust me, it works. And now we just make our way this platform over here. And we need to load into the sky with the fire too, to avoid crashing. My nose is kind of doing some weird stuff. And one of the unfortunate aspects of English version of the game is that because of the slow text you can get the boosts in back in time sky. On Japanese, because the text is so fast, you can get the boosts, but you can't in English. And let's just load in the Farron with the fire tree. And here we are, in the Farron back in time. And more free text. Also, during back in times you have to be really careful as in not to start the file at the wrong time. And now what we are doing, we are reverse bit warping into the harp Ballad of the Goddess cutscene. It saves a little bit of time. It avoids us having to play the harp. Because usually for the tutorial, for the harp tutorial, you need to play the harp, but now we just skip it instantly. Okay. And now we are doing the actual, like, Song of the Hero skip. And it's mostly the same. We just make our way to the Farron. And my sensor bar is doing some weird stuff right now. And pretty much the same as before, just with a different statue. Oh, I still don't have any notifications, sadly. But thank you, whomever did what you did. I'm sorry. Let's see. Yeah, everything seems to be fine. sensor bar is doing dumb stuff right now. So, same as before, we'll just make our way over here. This time with file 2. And here is the big trick. So basically we just start a cutscene and file at the same time. We start the file and initiate a cutscene at the same time. And here's going to be our first of the two Silent Realms or trials. And this is the Farron trial, and it's the easier one by far. And here's where the log we pushed earlier is coming into play. So this log allows us to skip a big portion. And right here, I'm going to do something rather unique. Usually, runners just don't play the harp regularly; they just kind of cheat it out. But I like playing this harp normally, and because I can just turn off the sensor bar, I can have the full accurate tracking at all times. And right there I was going for a trick called harp cancel, but unfortunately I failed it. Thankfully it's the only place we really need it, so it's not a huge deal. But before RBM was found and harp cancel was in use, if you failed all of the harp cancels you lost over a minute and a half. Oh, what? Weird. That has never happened to me before. And this is Farron Silent Realm. It's kinda self-explanatory. Well, not kinda. But basically, during this Silent Realm, there are these tears of light, which we need to collect. That will give us an item, but we also have to avoid those watchers like that over back there and guardians, and avoid getting hit. And so basically we just need to collect those. And these trials have a lot of free text. And this is what happens when you get caught. But thankfully these tiers they give us 90 seconds of time to get to the next tier and get back. So basically we are just going to be collecting all of these tiers. And there really aren't any like skips or anything like that in this trial. There are some optimizations but nothing too groundbreaking. And yes, I got on the log. That's good. That's a kind of a difficult jump to make actually. But thankfully we didn't hit the water, so we didn't get caught. And those kind of watchers are very annoying. Oh. And right here we pick this light fruit so that we don't have to worry about avoiding the other ones, and it also refills our stamina. This route I'm using is actually a few seconds slower, but because it's seconds we're talking about, I don't really mind it. And so far my movement has been very optimal. I didn't want to risk that because it's quite a way over to the next tier and there's a guardian right next to. And that's the last tier of light. And now we're just gonna go back to the starting area. And that's a small cutscene, or like optimization by rolling into the cutscene. And that gives us the water dragon scale, which allows us to swim much better. Yeah. And it's only really needed for one part of the wall run, which is kinda unfortunate, but for the time being it's still required. And a lot more free text. And we are just not gonna care about that dude by going the other way around. And we are doing it another RBM. Because that's the kind of thing we will do. And dump invisibility frames, not letting me take damage. And this RBM is for obtaining gratitude crystals for another RBM later on. My nose is kind of weird today. And we are just going to go in this house. And we are going to sleep the morning. And here's Raina. She's going to give us the gratitude crystals. And there we go. Oh, whoop. Wrong action. And now we're just going to Eldin. I took the wrong way around, but it's fine. Not a huge deal. And in Eldin we are going to do yet another trial, which is the Eldin trial, which is harder, but it's not overly hard. Like, it's definitely the worst one of the trials, but it's not too bad. So right now we are going to the volcano ascent statue, and we are going to do yet another RBM. Oh. And this RBM we use, this RBM utilizes the gratitude crystals we got earlier. And this is one of the uses for the water dragon scale. We can just get to the other side faster. And hopefully we don't hit the pumpkin patch. And this RPM opens up the Eldin Trail gate. And we are just gonna die again in lava. But not going to back in time this time. Hehe. And there we go. And in particular, the beginning of this trail is hard because of the sheer amount of butchers there are. But hopefully I manage. But I'm gonna be quiet for some time because this is kinda hard. Okay, phew. That was kinda close. But I made it. Okay. The worst part is over. Rest of this trail is pretty chill. This trail, except for that part, is pretty easy. It's just the lava and such make this kind of hard. And also because of the size of this map. And this trial doesn't have any like huge skips or anything like that. I'm just checking if I'm missing something. No, I'm not. Just had to be sure. And yeah, there is nothing really much to talk about these Silent Realms. Let's get another tier here, and there's yet another tightrope section, but it's thankfully managed well. And that's or Dusk Relic over there. That's in a very annoying place, I must admit. So I'm just gonna skip that. Usually I would just jump down into that platform, but because it was there I had to jump down to the second one. And now we are going to make our way back, because there's still a couple of tiers left. Yeah. And where was I going again? Oh yeah, over there. My nose is kind of funky today. I'm sorry for that. And after this tier, we are going to go to the summit part of this region. It's not really the actual summit, but it's the farthest we can get. And there's one tier over here, and I'm going to be really careful with this one, because in yesterday's race I accidentally awoke the guardians by stepping in that water. which I thankfully didn't do this time. And also there's waking water in these slopes as well, which is just awful in my opinion. And let's not hit that waking water. And here's one of the tears. And here's the second one. And we still have one more left. And it's right down here. And there's a small RNG, like that section where I just jumped off. It's kinda RNG because you can have there's a few jump types, like you can have the small jump that I got, and there is also the large jump, which saves a few seconds, but it's completely RNG, so it doesn't even matter that much. And it's only a few seconds really, so. And here are the fire shield earrings, which allow us to get to the summit. And yeah. Oh, I just did a dumps. I'm just gonna do this and fly my beetle up in there. Because I was supposed to take damage there with the bumps, but I thought I didn't have enough, so I was gonna die and try again. Oh well, that is manageable. And right here, this is the volcano summit. And we are going to do a couple of RBMs. One is to skip having to water one of the frogs later on. And the other one is the water basin skip RBM, which is one of the hardest portions of this run. And hopefully I didn't reset too late. And this is yet another Sheikah Stone RBM. Unfortunately I got the FedEx for some reason. But it's okay, we'll just do that again. Not a big deal. Sometimes that kind of stuff just happens, but oh well. Let's try that again. Let's be a bit more careful this time. Okay. And that's the first RBM. And now we have to commit it. And we commit it by entering this waterfall area and coming back. And now's the hard part, so to say. And this is what's known as Lumpy Pumpkin RBM. Basically in Sky there's this place called Lumpy Pumpkin, and by accessing it back in time we can skip having to get the water basin. And this RBM is kinda annoying. Mostly because getting to the Lumpy Pumpkin is hard because it's outside of the boundaries of the Sky back in time. Because the Sky back in time is in constant like Loftwing tutorial. But if we fly real high and leap off Loftwing, we can actually fly or skydive to the Lumpy Pumpkin. And a very much similar setup as in regular going to Farron bit. So first off, we are flying to the Farron area as usual, but instead of continuing on there, we are going to fly back up to the sky. And now, with the bird statue next to the landing spot, we are going to fly back up to the sky. Using file 2, otherwise it will crash. And being really careful as in to not start the file. And this part is really difficult, because you need to line up very precisely. You need to line up for the skydive. And it's kinda hard to see, like it's over there, like behind that zipper thingy. And basically I have to make my way over there. And how I make my way over there is by going really high up. And I'm just going to check, is it still under me? Yeah, it's over there. And let's see. I might not be high enough, so I might need to try again. So unfortunately I wasn't high enough, so I have to try it again. pumpkin is over there. I'm just gonna go on for a little bit longer. Just to make sure. And this should make it over there. Oh. Yep. That's it over there. So we're just slowly going to make our way. And how this even works is, as we have 6 hearts, Link takes 4 hearts of damage when he lands. So we can just barely... just barely get there. And that actually wasn't too bad. And for some reason this wants us always to sleep, not to sleep. Yeah, I didn't remember that can happen too. And okay, yes. I was kind of worried I didn't get that. And so now we go back to the waterfall. And hopefully that worked. And let's see if we did everything right. The second frog is quenched. The first one isn't, and the last one should be, or the flames to Fire Sanctuary should be open. Or off, I mean. Quenched. And now we are getting to RBM Sanctuary, and as we can see the flames are out. And why this is called RBM Sanctuary is because we pretty much skip the whole entire dungeon by RBMs. And the first thing we are going to do is obviously save, and after that kill ourselves again to do back in time. And oh, hold on. And these RBMs differ in a sense that during these RBMs we visit some statues. I mean, every RBM differs in some way. but still. Okay, I think that worked. And we commit this one by shooting this down. And we are just going to save again. And do kind of the same thing again. This time with the lower academy statue. The one we just used was the upper academy statue. And basically the same thing, like opening the gates with bit magic, or modified bit magic, and visiting the statue. Just a different statue. And this one is committed by shooting this one. And this is the third RBM. There are four RBMs, but we do the fourth one later because it's faster there. And these RBMs basically, they skip what's called magma myths, which allow us to burrow under the ground, which is utilized kinda heavily in this dungeon. And we're just going in here. Oh, bonk. And this RBM just gets this, and it's committed by getting a fairy in the other side of the room. And now is coming up the single-handedly most difficult part of this run. Because this trick requires precise positioning, and it's kinda hard and time consuming to retry it. So let's see. Oh. I'm gonna try again, just to be sure. And now it should be just right, the positioning. But we'll see. And this is kind of dumb. But let's see if that one works. Hopefully it does. the positioning at least looked good because there's a visual cue thanks to cell keys that you can use with this sword hilt to see if your positioning is correct. And it's basically the same as before to go to Pharaon. So save file 2 at Bazaar, load with file 2 into the sky, load with file 3 into the Pharaon. So we are going to the I'm kinda stammering right now. And we are going to enter the Pharaon Woods with file 1. Honestly, I don't know why. I'm just explaining stuff. And now we have to be really careful about not like starting the file, because that can happen and it's really annoying because you have to redo all of this again. Like this setup and everything. Oh. Oh, that's bad. Okay. We did that to get the Battle Dragon scale into back in time. And let's see. Let's hope that works. Oh, just barely doesn't, I think. Yeah. It just barely doesn't work. That's really unfortunate, but we just have to try it out again. Nothing else you can really do. I don't even know why that happened, because it looked like my positioning was good. But oh well. And let's try that again. Really unfortunate when it doesn't always work the first time. and the batteries are still running out. And let's just try again, because that's what we only really can do. Unfortunately, there really isn't any way around that trick, which is really annoying. It's not too bad once you get the setup down, but the setup is very precise. And so the same things as before. It's just annoying having to retry this because it takes so long. And I even use the slower setup by doing those sword slashes. Because for that positioning you need to for those side hops you need one frame of movement to be able to side hop or hop in general. And using these sword slashes, they kind of allow us to buffer those movements. Hopefully my positioning is correct now. And let's see. Basically just trial and error. It's still not good enough, unfortunately. Just barely. Just barely. So, hopefully third time's the charm. And this is unfortunately what the run is like currently. Hopefully that one's better. Trial and error, as I said. Nothing. You can't really do anything else. And it's a shame because the dungeon following it, or the dungeon we're attempting to get into, is very easy. So having a really hard trick to get in there is just kinda annoying. back to the sky. Just unfortunate that this trick takes so long to set up and do, and if it fails you just have to do it again. Let's see this time if it works. Kind of funny how those two sound effects played at the same time. Unfortunately, I just got this cutscene, which is not a huge deal, thankfully, but just annoying, because I selected file 1 and looked there at the same time. It's easily avoidable, but that just happened to happen, basically. And let's see. Hopefully it works now. Still not. Oh well. Got to keep trying. This is an unfortunate run killer in this route. And there's just nothing you can really do about it. I'm not sure if that works. Nope. That should work. But you cannot know for certain unless you try it out. So let's just try it. 4th time already. Hopefully it works this time. And also, unfortunately, this is near the end of the run, so it's kinda annoying. And thanks to whomever just followed me. I don't have my OBS or anything open, and I don't know, I can't see anyway who follows me, but thanks for following me. And again. Hopefully we get it this time. Don't have anything to say because we have done the same trick like 3 times already, so there is nothing really to talk about. I mean, well, I could explain like what this trick is. So basically this is what this is. It's called a reverse bit warp. And as its name implies, it's the reverse of the regular bit warp, in which the sky left coordinates they can be applied to the map we are loading. But in reverse bit warp, we apply the maps where we saved coordinates to the one we are loading into. Nope, we don't want that. And hopefully that works now. Nope. So annoying. And there's no way around it. I mean, I could try something. Let's see. No. Yeah. That plan didn't work. Hopefully that one works. And Fifth try already. I have been attempting this for like 17 minutes, I think, or so. Not really 17, but more like 20. Oh yeah, it's 20 minutes. Hopefully we'll get it working by now. Because this trick is annoyingly hard to... or annoyingly repetitive. But you got to do what you got to do. And let's see. Fifth try already. Still nothing. How is this happening? Like... such a struggle. Annoyingly so. Nope. Nope. Still not quite there. Okay, now it should work. Like, honestly, if it doesn't work now, it will never work. Also, I just did a dumb thing. Yeah. brains don't work as well when you have to do repeating tasks. I'm at least showing some perseverance. Sixth time already. I think this is a new record. I mean, last time it took me... Well, the previous worst was like, it took me 15 minutes to do this trick. But it's taken me over 20 minutes already. For some reason. Maybe I'm doing something wrong, I don't know. Or just having bad luck. Let's see. I really wish it works now because it's taken so long already. That was kind of weird. I really wish it works now because it's taken ages already. Oh. Bless RNG. Still not. Honestly, I don't even know what I'm doing wrong, because I'm doing... Thank God for Zelkeys for the setup video. I'm doing it exactly as it is on that video, and my positioning is exactly like it is on there. I honestly don't know what's wrong. Nope. Nope. Still not. This trick is... This is so hard. Nope. Hopefully it works now. Because honestly I'm getting kinda tired of doing this all over and over and over again. And in all honesty, it's simple, but it's so damn precise. Like, I don't know if it's as precise as, for example, Wind Waker HD's barrier skip is value-wise, but it's pretty damn precise. And that's the best setup there is currently. So we'll just have to make do with it. Unfortunately. I've been trying this trick for 32 minutes. Even though this is a marathon submission video, I wouldn't say this is a marathon safe trick. Which is kinda ironic. And also unfortunate. I have already lost count. This is maybe 7th or 8th so far. Could be even 9th. But hey, perseverance. You got to have that when you are speedrunning. Except this is just laughably bad. For some reason back in time just always wants us to start the fight at the wrong moment. Which is what we do not want to do. Hopefully, I beg to Goddess Hylia that this works now. Yes! Finally! That took way too long. Okay. Also, here's a trick called brake sliding. Which speeds this up greatly. That took way too long, but now it's all just smooth strolling. Thankfully. Wow, that took almost... That was like 35 minutes or something. That's a new record which I am not proud of. And I'm actually going to be a lot behind. This is not going to be even a PB, which is a shame. Because of that one trick. And there is nothing you can do about it. At least I got fast high flip. Oh crap! Dang, that's just bad. Okay, so now I'm going to be safety saving because that trick was just awful, and I want to make sure, because if we die, we get sent straight back to Fire Sanctuary. So I'm going to safety save here. And this dungeon is really simple once you actually get there. There are a few puzzles, but they're pretty easy. And here's a small time saver slash cutscene skip by side hopping at an angle. You can avoid that, and here's a puzzle. Done fast. Unfortunately, because of the trick or the level speed warp, I'm going to be behind my times, and I think I'm way behind like my PB. But realistically speaking, if I had like, usually it takes me only a few tries to get that trick. Now it was just, for some reason I wasn't able to get it. But hopefully it's enough of a proof that I'm able to do this now. And here's a small key. The only small key we are really even collecting during this whole entire run. And I just walked. And you're not supposed to have the small key and the... Oh, that's funny. Never happened before. You're not supposed to have the small key and the boss key at the same time, so they kinda overlap. And here's a small, or actually quite big time saver. Need to be precise with this positioning. And more fee text. And yes, beautiful. Like honestly, if I just had gotten that Revel Speed Warp fast enough, this would have been an actually amazing run. And yeah, I'm a lot behind, as you can see. Really unfortunate, but nothing you can do, really. And for some reason I'm playing this out very slowly. How does this go even? Okay, so it's like this. Oh, no. Okay, I had it correct originally. And wow, that's bad. I don't like where this is going. I might just barely PB, but at this point I'm not too sure. Like, those splits don't even show my real PB. My real PB is 3:27:07. And safety save before boss. And next up is Colactos. He's a really interesting boss, actually. And the fight is really fun as well. I think this is one of my favorite bosses of this wall run. And Gilahim is still pissed at us. So this is Colactos. First we need to bait him to attack us. Oh, what? Too far away. Nope. Okay. I think that just barely worked. Hopefully. I was a bit too slow. Nope, it didn't. Okay, I have to redo that. I think the fastest option is actually to just try again, so I'm gonna do that. And those splits are not looking good at all. And let's just try that again. Okay, that's how it's supposed to be done. And now for the second phase, I think. Yeah. And the second phase is just epic, just watch. And that's Galactose. And unfortunately I'm a bit behind right now. Nothing I can really do about that. The trick is just that unforgiving. And most likely after this run I won't be running it until an alternative setup is found. Unless obviously I get accepted into an event of sorts. And now I have 8 hearts and I will get one more. And this is the first of the flames, Valores Flame. And this gives us Goddess Longsword, which deals more damage. But we don't really care about the damage boost. And now we are going back to the Fire Sanctuary to finish it up. We still have one RBM there left. And the boss, which is Gilahim. And during regular gameplay, Gilahim is actually fought 3 times. But in this speedrun, he's only fought twice. And now we're going back to Eldin. But unfortunately, as we have so many hearts, it's going to take ages for us to die. And also now we can see if the RBM we did earlier worked. And yes, it did. So we have access to the inside of Fire Sanctuary. Because with the RBM we activated the statue. Normally we would need to go over to the statue and visit it to activate it. But with RBMs we can activate them separately. And the same thing again. Oh, what? This game and the invisibility frames. Kinda dumb. And this RBM is really simple. It's just visiting the bazaar statue. And as you can see, back in time lags quite a bit. I don't know how to do that. And now we also see if the RBMs worked. And it seems like they did. Okay, yes, they work. Beautiful. And you can guess what that mysterious crystals is. It's basically a key, because, well, it's a key that's actually a key. But let me show you. Kind of funny. And this is Gilahim fight at last. And Gilahim, he's full on RNG, like you can, like, there are patterns you can attack him with, but he chooses to attack you as, or position himself as Varys. But for the first phase it's like this as I'm doing it. So slash and spin attack. And doing that vertical spin attack makes him jump back, which is faster. And now he's being very kind. Rarely. Usually he isn't this kind. And these are his darts that he uses sometimes. Yeah, sorry if I'm not talking. This fight is just kinda intensive. Okay, that was that. And now we are getting the last of the heart containers, And then we are going to do yet another RBM. If we are successful at it. So yay. Now we have 9 hearts in total. And this is the last of the flames. Oh. Accidentally did that. And now we are going to save. And now because we have the fail, still we have to use it up. Yeah, this is far slower than just... And last RBM. And in this RBM we skip a small... Well, we don't really skip anything, but we just start a fight faster with a boss called Imprisoned, which is the worst boss. Well, okay, Scaldera is the worst boss, but Imprisoned is very hard. So basically the same thing, we are going to bit save 5-2 at Bazaar and make our way to Felon. And this section is kind of weird because it has a chance of crashing. So I need to be kind of careful. And now we'll just now we're just going to save this file over here. And you've got to be very careful with this one. Oh dear. Yes, I did that right. Good. So basically, now we make our way down to this pit. Oh, what? Okay. That has never happened. Really weird. Now, I'm hoping I didn't soft lock anything. But I think the problem is that I haven't been inside yet. It's dumb. I don't know, I have to... This step is actually not even needed. Yeah, basically I have to go through this whole thing again. For some reason it just didn't work. Even though I did everything right. Kind of unfortunate. But right now we'll just make our way down to the fight. I don't have enough hearts, so I'm just going to fill some quickly. And normally there would be text of sorts, but for some reason there wasn't. Thankfully. So basically we just did that whole RBM thingy for no good reason. Kind of a shame. And yeah, now's the fight. So this is imprisoned. And he is big and fat and ugly. Because that's what he is best at being. Oh! Unfortunately I failed that trick. You can, if with very precise action, you can actually stay on top of the imprisoned's head. But I failed it that time. So I just have to retry it. And now he is trying to climb, but we are not going to let him do that. And for some reason his fingers have respawned. Let's just get rid of those fingers. And we'll use glues when we need to. Okay, now I succeeded. And I got a very fast fight, hopefully, if I'm fast enough. Okay, awesome. So, When getting that trick, it saves around a minute, and it's actually quite a lot, so you can do it twice, so you save over 2 minutes. And it's awesome when you get it. And right now we are almost at the end game, so to speak. Unfortunately, I won't be PBing unless some miracle happens and I'm very fast. But I doubt that. But it's fine. So far, if we don't count the levels bit warp, this run has been good. Oh. And now we have to seal this spike. And that's imprisoned. And now we'll just make our way over to the Gate of Time, go to past, and finish the run. Pretty much. Hopefully I don't fail hold this time. And finally, now let's just check if we did the Song of the Hero skip correctly. And yes, we can open the door. Awesome.
Hey!
And now we are going to get the True Master Sword, which helps a lot during the horde. And I'm also going to take whoops, I forgot something. I forgot to grab a fairy. Let's see if there are any here. Nope. Okay, so we have just one fairy, which is kind of a monk has. But we'll just save here, and if something goes wrong we can just restart. Unfortunately though, I don't have the fairy and it takes way too long to go back. So yeah. Also, getting into this horde fight would not even be possible if we didn't run this game on hero mode. Oh, I'm cornered. Ah! I can't get past. Okay, I'm gonna reset. Because we didn't complete the Skykeep, the final dungeon of the regular game. So the pit or the outside is on the long layer. So if in normal mode you try to load that cutscene, it just doesn't. It soft locks. But because we can skip the cutscene before it can soft lock, we can finish the run. If I actually manage. And this whole stuff is really hard. And I actually forgot to split. So yeah. And this is basically Hyrule Warriors bait, as Gymnast said it. And coming up is Hold Skip or Hold Hoppa. And it's kind of a difficult trick to do. There's an easy strat, but I haven't learned the easy strat. And I think this is bad. Let's see. Oh, those are some. Okay. And this section just really sucks because there are so many bokoblins. Okay, so the last section is just coming up. Okay, awesome. So after that, this is the Gilahim fight, last one, and it's a really cool fight. Okay, so it's Gilahim time. And Gilahim 3 doesn't really differ from the other Gilahims in a sense. There's 3 phases for the fight. And this is the first one. And we have to knock him off of this platform 3 times. And now he has these purple glowing things, and we have to hit according to them. And not hit the purple glowing things. And that was it for first phase. Oh, dang. Okay, last section. Phase. You wretched brat! You have to always say that. Otherwise your run is not valid. Okay. So now we are going to Demise, which is the last boss. And Demise, for a final boss, he's very easy. There's a really good strat for him, and you can beat him in under a minute if you are very good. So let's see. Oh, dang. Okay, that was pretty good. Thank you all for watching. This was my submission video of the Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword Annual for various marathons. Most likely in the future I will be doing a better video because, frankly, because of the reverse bit warp, this is not very good, and actually because those pillets are wrong. It's not even my PB, it's behind my PB by 8 minutes and 16 seconds. But anyway, my name is Dr. Sensei-hugo, and thanks for watching this run. Bye.